Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears.
Yo, no maniacs. Welcome into another edition of Nomad at Night. I'm your host, Nomad, and I got my co-host with me, Kids of Canuck, and we got a replacement for Triple R tonight. We got Trip Kundo in the building, looking lively, ready to get into some action tonight, man. I wouldn't go nowhere near his apartment or his place right about now. You might get clunked right upside the head. But again, welcome on into the show as everybody get ready to fall into the chat. Thank y'all for being here. Should be a cool night, man. We're going to make this one a little bit shorter than usual because I got some stuff going on. But we'll talk about that, I guess, when we go around them being a little bit. I'll bounce past this over to Canada real quick so we can get this thing started.
Ooh, that was hot. Yo, what it do? Welcome in, welcome through. It's Sunday night, time for Nomad at Night. Glad to have all y'all. Big ups and big love to all of you. That being said, Keds is back after that day of hiatus because apparently, Noah's Ark is in Canada and maybe Missouri. I got hit with some flooding and couldn't make extra sauce, but your boy's back. Everything is good. The computer is fine, and we're rocking and rolling and back in business to talk Bears. That being said, let me throw it down to the homie Trip, man. Trip Kundo.
Bro, what up, though? Yeah, it's like nice to be back, of course, because it's always good to be seen. And it's Sunday night, and Triple R was like, bro, I can't go. And I was like, I got you, bro. And so next man up, bro. Let's fucking go. Next man up.
All right. Well, let me do some house cleaning real quick and let you guys know what's going on. And by the way, kids, don't do that no more. At least text me, man.
I was worried. I really should have, man. I was just in the thick of it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't expect to expect to be dealing with flood and moving everything out of here. But we're all right. I'm glad my son was around to help me get that stuff done and get this office back up and running so that I could be live and direct again today. What it do, Star Wars kid? Good to see you.
What up, Star Wars kid? And you're talking about flooding. So Kids is talking about it was heavy rain and flooding up in Canada, in the Ottawa area in particular. I believe I seen some news on it. He sent me a clip and it was pretty rough.
It was wild.
Yeah. And speaking of flooding, man, there was, I guess, some heavy rains down in the south recently here. And guess what? Old Nomad got to put his old emergency response chops on. I got called out for a job down in the south, man, and I got to go down there, and I'm going to be gone for about a week. So what's going to happen here on the channel is we probably, let's just say we won't be able to do not Nomad at Night, but some Extra Sauce Wednesday. But I'm going to try. I don't know what my accommodations are going to be like when I get there, but I'm going to try to set that show up and see if we can give it a go. But if we can't, just wipe out Extra Sauce for this week. And if we do it, it'll be your lucky Wednesday. But
well, bro, if like you're going to be going to the South, like, no offense, but their internet ain't the best to begin with. But if you're coming in like after a disaster or some shit, your hotel ain't gonna have no Wi-Fi, bro.
It's possible, man. It's very possible. I think it's been I don't know exactly how long it's been since the water receded, but I don't that's exactly it. Trip is I don't know exactly what it's gonna be. So I'm not gonna promise nothing. Only thing I can tell you.
And then like when you get to cleaning and you get the mud bugging and stuff, and it's like, oh shit, it's time for some extra sauce. And it's like you like neck deep up in mud, and it's like you get all the extra sauce you need, bro.
That's how it is, man. You never know. You hear about it. Somebody might send you a few images or this or that, but you never know until you get boots on the ground how those jobs go. You just never know. I got used to doing that for a while, and I've been out of touch with it, but pretty quickly once you get to a spot like that, man, it's on and cracking, and you know what you got to do. So we'll see when I get there, man. But beyond that, man, it's going to be a pretty good week. Just count on Nomad at Night Sunday. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to get that together. I should be back by then. But man, hey, how you guys been doing this week other than that, man?
Things are status quo except for that, man. It was Canada Day week. Happy 4th of July to all you, all you Americans. Big ups to y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed the festivities. Had some fun, saw some fireworks, got some booze in you, all that good stuff. In Canada, we do it a couple of days earlier, which was Wednesday, and that's what we call Canada Day. Like I say, I was half in the bag already to come and find out that everything was, I was into that extra sauce, we'll just say, and come to find out that there was a little extra sauce all over the floor in my office wasn't fun either. So that was my flex for the better part of last week, but I took a couple of days off after because I knew I'd be heavy into that extra sauce. And we were able to get things cleaned up and back in order for Nomad at Night. So I'm glad to be back in business here. Things are okay. Everything is status quo.
Yeah, bro. It's enjoying the summer weather, and it's been raining, but I guess you know that because of flooding and shit. But it's whatever. It's all good, and the people that have been affected, I hope they are okay, because you got flooding in some places, then you get like heat waves in other places, and you get earthquakes in other places.
Oh, jeez.
And you get tsunamis in other places, and then you still get war and genocide in other places. So there's a lot of shit going on, bro. And just to be able to be here and be right now, it's a blessing. So let's kick it. Let's go.
Right on.
I agree with that one 110%, man. Weather is definitely changing drastically. What a lot of people don't know and don't pay attention to this genre of, podcasting and information out here on the internet is we got hit by like 10 nice size solar flares, like rapidly back to back to back to back. And that I believe is playing a large role in some of the, just the it's bad as far as the weather changes are going right now. And I think that plays a major role in it, to be honest with you. But for people out there to pay attention to those communities and that genre of information, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And so just be on alert, man. Anywhere you live right about now, it feels like you can get some bad change of weather. When I said it can be dramatic, it can be real dramatic, man. So just be on alert for that. When the weatherman or whoever is wherever you get your information from, they telling you they predicting this and they predicting that, best thing I can tell you is take heed. Start taking you some precautions and doing what you got to do. But that's for another conversation. How about what have you guys been hearing about the Bears this week? Anything y'all want to talk about in particular before I get my hot topics up and going?
Bro. I saw the gizmo sent the Pope, Dominus Ominous, a jersey, bro. So it's all good. It's Super Bowl, bro. Super Bowl. Let's go.
Trip, I saw that too, and I was just wondering, like, when does the Pope actually get to rock a jersey? That was like the one thing I was thinking about. I was like, that was a dope gesture from Caleb.
I think like casual Fridays, and
okay,
and like when they be having like the parties over in the convent with the nuns and shit.
Oh, I heard about them parties.
I think that's when they defrock.
I heard Freddy Krueger was born. I was conceived at one of them parties. But anyways,
but that was an insane asylum. But some would say like the Vatican would be the same thing. So I see what you're saying there.
Okay,
all
right.
I think you're gonna go to hell, but I see what you're saying.
That is a possibility, unfortunately.
Going straight to hell, I tell you that.
Hey,
maybe he's gonna sleep in it. Who knows, man? But you know what, man? Let's just get this interesting stuff out there in the open. Let me pull this up. Because this might be an interesting conversation. Because you might have to think about this for a minute. What up, Dante?
Hey, Dante.
Bro, Dante.
Thanks for being here, my boy.
Oh, Shad's in the building.
This is gonna be an interesting question because you'll see when I get to it. Let me open this up first. Hold on. Oops.
Hey, that's me.
Oh god dang on thing. Where is he at?
What a good looking son of a bitch that guy is. I swear.
Where is that guy at? Man? Right here. Nope. Dang, man. Oh, here we go. Let's start with this, man. And let me turn on these comments so everybody can see themselves in the chat. This is an interesting question. Now, some people would say that Caleb is really in his second year. His rookie season was a wash. And so because this is the second year with Ben Johnson, they're calling this the second year leap. And so when I ask you the question, what does the second year leap in Ben Johnson's offense look like? Anywhere you want to go with this question, go right ahead. Is it something numbers? Is it something footwork? Is it a combination of footwork, numbers, balancing the pass and run game and any of that kind of stuff? What does it look like to you? Second year in Ben Johnson's offense.
All right. All of those things. But I'll try to begin with the direct question, right? So second year in the offense, in my opinion, Caleb's going to have a full understanding, and I think we started to see this towards the end of the season, but I think Caleb's going to have a full understanding of exactly, A, what does Ben Johnson want him to do? B, the way that Ben Johnson sort of orchestrates his offense, he's been known for trying to make different things look the same, right, within the offense. That being the case, I think Caleb is going to have a little bit more autonomy and understanding as to when he can and when he might want to switch in and out of different looks, right, in and out of different plays. So I think we're going to see a little bit of that. I do have to say footwork was my biggest worry for him. And again, we started to see, what up, AC? We started to see a little bit of improvement on the footwork case scenario towards the end of the season. He started to pay a bit more attention to just getting his feet planted, except for that one pass where he was in the sky and just had to rely on, Michael Jordan lookalike case scenario and arm talent to get things done. But the other things outside of footwork, it's just getting comfortable in this offense, comfortable with the personnel. Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, Roma Dunze, and the two new guys on offense being Sam Roush and Xavier Thomas. Once he's familiar with all those guys, I think we're going to see an uptick in just receptions made, as well as receptions made, in my opinion, more or less within the center of the field. There was a lot of drops last year. I think that'll also go down. Trip, what do you think?
Bro, it's like Coach Football Psycho. He's not in the head coach's boys club, bro. He does his own thing. And he's like, fuck all those guys. And all those guys are like, yeah, we're gonna posse up and we're gonna beat you. So they're putting all their little tiny brains together and trying to come up with how to stop them. And so in the second year of the new Bears offense, they're going to be looking at the first year stuff and be like, all right, we know how to stop all that shit. But Coach Football Psycho, he's in his lab right now, bro. And he's like, well, they expecting this and they're going to see that, but it ain't going to be that. And then So he's gonna like get jiggy with it, with the calls and with the plays and the designs and shit. But Gizmo in the offense, I think he'll have like better stats or the completion percentage, like the nerds say, because his footwork is going to be better and he's going to be better comfortable in the offense, and then he'll be able to be like, all right, pre-snap, I see this blitz coming from that side, so we're going to check to this or something different. Then we're going to check to something different. But those checks are part of the offense. I don't think that Gizmo has like the freedom or even the knowledge to be like, yo, I'm gonna call my own audible at the line of scrimmage, beyond what was agreed to in offensive meetings beforehand, bro.
So, Caleb, when I start thinking about what does that leap look like for me, it starts with real subtle things. With me, when I say real subtle things, I mean, of course, you start with his footwork, keeping his footwork clean, staying within the rhythm of the offense. But one of the things that I always thought to be when you start turning yourself into an elite quarterback, the ball fakes become really real. They look, you actually freeze the defense for a second, at least the linebackers in the secondary. That is, I'm looking for that to look real good. It looked pretty clean last year, but you could tell he's put in work with it, but it's not perfected to the point to where he's really selling that, and like everybody's believing it. Like somebody that I thought was the best at it that I really ever seen do it was Peyton Manning.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is real good.
Aaron Rodgers is really, I put him high second.
Yeah, he's real good.
He's really good at the play fake. And he's probably, if Caleb were to look at a guide to somebody that's close to his skill set, it would be Aaron Rodgers, because how he used the play fake, the boot action afterwards, and made his legs a threat. Like he's gonna do that kind of thing. But you go ahead. You want to say?
Yeah. All of us. I really didn't want to interrupt you, but like all I wanted to say was, you just, the description that you just sort of gave really made me think for a minute there that's probably the best likeness in comparison for what I hope Caleb Williams actually does turn out to. He has a fair amount more athleticism, but we definitely saw Aaron Rodgers get the ball, move the change with his feet too. Scramble drill is crazy for Aaron, but I don't know. Once he gets that play fake in place, and he gets defenses to bite, yeah, man, I think we're going to see another level in this offense too. That's a good point.
You see, the thing about the play fake and the footwork at the same time, and having a new offense, kids, is I'm sure there was times during that year, it might have kind of died down later on in the year. He's probably counting his steps, making sure everything is clean, so coach ain't got nothing to say to him in the film session and all that kind of stuff. And, probably the play fake is it's something you ain't really concentrating on. But when it starts to come to how you can leap to the next level and make that jump that you want to make, it's things like that, man. If you can freeze that defense and really sell that play fake, you're giving yourself a huge advantage. Huge advantage, giving the offense a huge advantage. They're already worried about how they're going to distribute that ball to all these weapons, which we'll talk about here in a minute as well. But if he can sell and make that play action really, really strong, that's going to be a huge leap for him.
I agree.
They're going to have to really respect the running game after that.
I don't know. Did we do a lot of play action last year, in your opinion? I don't think we did.
More than I thought we would. Let's just say that. A lot more than I thought we would. Like, I can remember the Green Bay game some stuff in there pretty specifically. Like one of the pass that DJ burned him with was off a ball fake like that. It was a pretty good one too.
Yeah, you're right. It was, and they definitely bit. That's later in the season, though. You know what I mean? Like, by that point in the season, I think he had a really good grasp of what they're trying to do. And to Tripp's point, I think this time around, as opposed to really him calling his own plays at the line, I think Ben will have contingency built in so that he knows exactly what he should be checking into and out of at the line. I think just with that alone in place, he'll come so much further ahead that I think the league will take notice.
And I hear that. I think the second thing is really, really simple stuff. Really take what's given instead of holding the ball a little too long. You got a decent offensive line that can block for you, but take the gimmies. Take the gimmies, lighten up on the mustard on the ball, take a little something off of it, make it an easy catchable ball, and let these athletes run. I think that's going to be huge for him this year. You start talking about him making a big leap, it's going to be him taking the gimmies. Take the sweet candy, man. It's right there. Take the sweet candy.
That is one of the most important lessons for him to learn. And like I say, I think it has everything to do with confidence in the receiver, confidence with the personnel. I have to say that there was a lot of easy gimme balls that he hit Keenan Allen for in the middle of the field year one. Not a lot of that in year two really translated in the same manner. Up until, I believe, the Cincinnati game, when he kind of recognized, wait a minute, I can use Colston. And he just started to hit Colston instead. And that kind of changed the dynamic of the remainder of the year. So he's got Colston over there. He's got Cole Kmet there. And again, he should have some real good help in the slot, whether that's Xavion or whether it's I was going to say Olamide Zaccheaus, but he's no longer here. Khalif Raymond.
Bro, yeah. But like also what it's going to help Gizmo and his yards and offense and leading into the next conversation about all the mouths to feed is that not only does he take the candy, but he takes the candy and throws away the wrapper. So, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So what I mean is, like those balls that he threw Keenan Allen had to stop or turn around or jump or dive. But Gizmo, he said, like specifically, he wants to throw more balls where guys can get that yak. That
Don't
means
talk back.
After catch. That means so he can throw a 5-yard pass and make it a 90-yard pass because of the athletes getting them the ball in a position that they can keep running, bro.
I'm with you.
Having them run in stride, that's going to be hugely important for him.
Fuck it.
And really, the another thing too is him having mastery of the time and the moment, knowing when to go put his foot on the gas. He doesn't need the coach to tell him on the sideline, "Hey, hurry up!" When you got a team in transition on defense, they trying to shuffle guys in and out, and you're moving the ball a little bit. Keep your foot on the gas. Now that's going to come down to some conversations that need to be had. Sometimes tough conversations between him and the coach. And when you need to. Shout out to Hill, who just renewed his membership, man. I don't know if he did it for the first time, Hill. Correct me if I'm wrong, but thank you so much, my man. Thank you so much for that. It's really about
big ups, Hill.
Putting his foot on the gas at the line of scrimmage, knowing that he's got the defense on his heels, and using the snap count as a weapon. That's like the third thing in I'm combining two things, but
you are. And they're tough things too, man. And this is somewhere this is again, man. This is another Aaron Rodgers comparison I have to make, right? Like Aaron Rodgers used to eat our lunch with that shit. But I think it's a situation that once he's got a full grasp of this offense and his position in it, you can really start to utilize tempo as well as that in a different way and use that against defenses, right? So I'm interested in seeing that on the field. I think for me, I think that comes at, in year 4, right? I think you'll have that full grasp and be able to really mess with defenses in that capacity. But real talk, I kind of want to see it this year, right? Like I want to see it this season. So let's see if that transpires, because both of those aspects of being a quarterback pay dividends, man. Like that, you're going to get some easy first downs, easy short yardage, just because you know what the hell you're doing.
So what's required in that when you got to go. You're kind of going off script a little bit. Thank you, Hill, man. We appreciate
Right
you.
on. We appreciate that, man.
Where we're headed is like what has to happen. What has to happen is not only does he need to be. It's basically you going off script for the most part, and you're just taking. You got a tired defense out there. They're trying to shuffle guys out, and you don't want to let them. So you put your foot on the gas. There's got to be a bucket full. Let's not say bucket full. Nice handful of plays, core plays that they all have to know. And so that's going to take a whole lot of work and practice after practice. Got it. Hey, we're going hot right now. So that might be the signal for everybody's going hot. They know what the word hot means. We got a handful of plays that we do in this situation, and Caleb's going to give us some kind of signal or he's going to let us know what this is. And then everybody has to know that route tree. What are you supposed to do here? Who's in motion, who's not in motion, who's shifting, who's not shifting. The running backs need to know what's going on. But first, the offensive line has to be on par with it. So that requires some work. Now, it can be done if you spend enough time doing it. Now, it's going to require a little bit of work after practice because you can't get all that shit in every day in practice because you only can be out there on the field for a certain amount of hours with the coaches. So that has to be an after practice plan. You get that into mastery, and you can really, really put teams on their behinds, bro. You can really run up some numbers on teams. Teams know that you can do that to them. They have to plan for you differently. It's a huge advantage. Snap count.
Can't wait.
Being able to go tempo, having a mastery of that play action, and just taking those gimmies, man, they'll run that ball up and down the field like 40 going north, bro.
Yeah, can't wait to see all those things in action. Because again, I feel like Ben's got I feel oh, it's hilarious. So I feel like Ben's got things lined up for exactly what you sort of brought to light. If there are just sort of like a set range of hot plays that they've been practicing, and they probably laid out last year. They probably executed them last year. But if those routes, those concepts are sort of baked into what they're doing, they can just layer on cool new stuff throughout the rest of the year and really have that core concept that they can fall back on and jump in and out of, again, in a tempo situation or in a hot situation. And, just like you're saying, that's going to increase. It's going to increase completion percentage.
Shad on Sports has got some good. I'm gonna do another one of your statements. I put a star on it, Shad. So hold on. So you can read this, kids, if you want.
Yeah, man. Shad's laying it down in the chat. So completion percentage against the blitz needs to stay above league average. You're damn straight. That is definitely something that he needs to pay a little bit of attention to. And I think, again, with the ability to use tempo, that'll be very helpful, as well as the play fake case scenario. You might catch folks offside, right? So all of that's relevant. What's the other one you wanted to highlight?
See this one. You want to read this one? You can.
Sure. So here's Shad on Sports. Key points of reference: red zone efficiency, scramble drill improvement, and flat out control of the operations. Boom. There was another one he had there too, man, but I can't remember which one. Oh, he says, okay, that's an interesting comp, Shad. I got to put that one up. Hold on. I didn't even catch this one.
I don't even know what you're looking at.
So Shad's saying Caleb comp draft night to me was better armed Donovan McNabb. So that means his legs will have to continue to be a weapon. An interesting comp. I personally, I see what you're saying, but I think the mental aspect of this thing is the one thing we really haven't had a full opportunity to see. And if he's able to grasp just not just the quarterback arm and physical talent that I think he has, I think we all think he has, that mental aspect of the game is something that every quarterback doesn't really grasp, right? And I think we've seen our fair share of folks who haven't been able to grasp it. But the guys who do, they're special, right? Like the Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, obviously Tom Brady. There's a huge list of guys who fully understand how to command the offense, how to utilize tempo against a defense, how to play fake. Those guys are sort of in their own category. And if this guy can, if Caleb can sneak into that category, not only will the Bears be better off for it, but I think they'll be approaching an elite style of offense that, again, we've never seen in Chicago.
Well, let me part from that. Hold on for a second, Trip. Hold on. Because this is one of the better compliments given to us that I think in a long time here, man. I'm going to read it off. Hill just gave us a compliment. He said, I've been watching Coach T, Swifty, Aldo, TTNL, and yourselves for years. This is my first time ever subscribing to any of you. I appreciate your dedication to the audience and respecting us without insults. Amen to that, man.
That's what's up, bro.
Amen to that. Thank you.
Roll, yeah.
That's a great compliment, man. That's one of the things we started off doing, trying to make sure that we give everybody that comes in here and pays homage to what we do, man. Everybody wants to be respected, man. And that's one thing we're big on around here, just being respectful in the community. And people know that. And so if you see somebody starting to get disrespectful, people in the chat are getting on you about that. Or whoever it is getting disrespectful. So ain't nobody gonna put up with it in the chat either. So
we got a good community, man. And at the same time, we were definitely members of all those communities that you're speaking to or bringing up at one point or the next. And we felt a certain way when we put this thing together to make sure to embrace and uplift that community as we move forward. So thanks for noticing. We appreciate that.
For sure. I'm trying to think of anything else I can think of, but I think time on task, getting the chemistry with those receivers, and you'll know when Ben and Caleb are there, as far as they're understanding each other, is when he doesn't have to look to the sidelines for guidance as much. He knows exactly what he's doing. You might hear him saying something or his mouth moving while he's setting up the next play. That's probably just him. He's listening to Ben, but kind of mocking and mimicking what he's saying. So they're on the same page, and he won't look to the sideline as much. The conversations will be shorter. You know what I mean? And it won't be. Oh, the last thing I gotta say is shout out to FFG.
Hey, FFG's in the building. What it do, bro?
FFG, what up, dog?
Hope Viking Land is treating you well.
But I think his poise in the moments, having poise and keeping it together. So he's a great model for anybody else that's kind of out of shape with their poise, keeping it together. But
that's the one that I gotta let. I'm gonna let the young man go on that one. I know he will. I'll knock on wood on it. So he will have a couple of blow-ups next year. It's just the way that it goes. My simple point is a few things. The first one is I don't feel like he'll have any blow-ups with the coaching staff or players on the team. I think everybody in that respect at this point is more or less on the same page. So I'm appreciative of that. I think the blow-ups will happen with respect to either the other teams that he's facing and or the defenses or referees. In those cases, I'm sure we're going to have at least one emotional Caleb Williams moment where he's pissed off on the sidelines and somebody got to stand in front of him. But I appreciate those, man. I appreciate them.
It's when you go out there and they're putting like their lives and limbs on the line because they're warriors, bro. And like some bullshit goes down, whether it be like a ref blowing a call, fucking zebras, or like a receiver runs the wrong route or a guy drops the ball or whatever, missed block. But it's emotional, bro. And sometimes coaches and players and look like they be wanting to choke each other out, bro. But then afterwards they be like, oh yeah, on that play, that was like, oh yeah, my bad, bro. I was in the moment. So it's like we want them to think and be present, emotionally and intellectually. But when the adrenaline gets going and the pain of like one of the ailments that they get that they're playing through gets going and the heat of the moment and shit happens, bro. People blow up, bro. but it's still all good as long as they know that they're going in the same direction and they get the same enemy.
You got it.
Yeah, that's right, man. You know, it's hard to temper your emotions, but knowing when you're the quarterback, you have to. You know, unfortunately, you have to. It's gonna be some times, man, when you're gonna want to tear some shit down, but you got to keep it together, man, so everybody else stays focused. But you know, I don't want to even get into the numeric aspect of what a third year leap or whatever is for Caleb, because it's too wild and all over the place for me. Just get the completion percentage up, really, and take the gimmies. And when you have to take that ball deep, be accurate. That's it. I don't care about the numbers.
So
I care about.
I'll touch on the numbers in short. I think he was very close to that magic number that we've been talking about forever. He was very close this season, and I think just simply lifting that percentage and taking the gimmies, taking that candy that's on the table that Nomad had brought up before, will easily allow him to eclipse that number. So I'm not going to really say too much more than that. I think he has all the capability to do it. It's just a matter, in my opinion, of believing in the guys that he's surrounded by. And I think that was one of the major reason why he didn't hit it this past season. Now, that being said, Shad's got he's got a great question for us and a follow-up.
No, don't do it yet, because this is kind of leading into another question we were going to get into.
Okay, all right, cool.
I put a star by it, but if I didn't, hit it up for me.
All right.
But yeah, man, that's it for the Caleb question for now. But here's a very interesting one. This is gonna go now. You guys think what you want, but I have my take on this, and when I give my take, and I can start if you want me to. But now the question is, can Malik actually push for starting reps this year? Malik Muhammad.
Well, okay. The answer to that is yeah. Trip, go ahead.
Well, like maybe his forte isn't like the nickelback, but with Spidey
look at this
getting called out,
with
Spidey getting called out, and for not being healthy, you know, that's going to open up some reps. And then, like, whatever the problem is with Crispy Stevenson, you know, with the coaching staff, you know, if that carries over, that's going to open up some reps at cornerback on the outside. So there's all kind of opportunities for either the nickelback or the cornerback opportunities for plays. And if the chip on his shoulder is like it was on draft night when he was like, well, why ain't I ain't in the first round, bro? I got shit to prove to the league, bro. And if he comes out and he's able to ball out and gain the trust of Coach Harris and Coach Dennis Allen, then yeah, the reps are there to be had for the rookie, bro. All day, bro.
You nailed it. And that's exactly what it is. There's an opportunity to get on the field and show your worth. And you know, he needs to go out there and put Kyler Gordon on notice. And I'm saying that in a way that everybody can understand. He might not be the nickel. It might be somebody else. They might move somebody else into that position. But God willing, you need to take that other position, that whatever the open spot is. You need to move yourself in there, Malik. And I think he's got all the talent and capability of doing exactly that. Right? That's really where my headspace is. We'll see if he can get on the field and be that guy. And it's got a lot to do with the fact that we do not have a healthy Kyler Gordon again going into 2026.
Well, my take on it is it's a little complex, man, because all I know is reps I see, you know, and we haven't seen him in a Bears uniform. First thing I'm gonna tell you right now, and I said it before. Number one, he has to get drugged through the ringer. Number one, learn NFL route trees, learning the defense all at the same time, just getting comfortable with what the calls are, the audibles are, and if they have to flip, you know, from going from side to side. What I mean by flipping You know, you might have to travel with a guy. What does that coverage look like on the other side of the field? Same thing, but on the other side of the field with other leverage. You got to learn that. But he has got to see NFL level receivers on a regular basis, and they have to take him through it. And the only way he gets better is through practice. And once he starts to get a understanding, a real grasp of the defense, then we can start having conversations about whether or not he can push for a starter. But right now, he's got a lot to learn, number one. And if you see Malik Muhammad on the field in the starter's role, it means two things. It's one or the other. It could be both. Somebody's injured, and they have to put him out there in some role, whatever it is. Two, he's learning the defense at an astronomical pace and understanding route trees at an astronomical pace. His everything, his muscle memory is aligned with everything that he knows, understanding the route trees and being where he's supposed to be. All that has to come into play, and that's a lot for a rookie. And so if you ask me, you put the true serum in me, I'd say, of course, anybody's got a chance to push for some starter reps. But I think realistically, I don't see it. Not right away. Through some part of the season, we start dealing with a little, nicks and bruises and stuff like that. He has to get out there for a couple of games or a couple of reps, whatever it is. I don't think pushing him out on the field just because you want to see the talented young rookie out there is a reason to be doing that. I think you got veterans that know what they're doing and give him time to get a grasp on NFL offenses this year. And so I don't want to see him out there early. I think it's going to take some time.
That's an interesting take. So Shad, love this comment, and it set me to go take a quick peek to see if Nick McLeod's still on this team, and I don't see him on the roster.
McLeod.
Say again?
McLeod's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
We still got Blackwell and Jalen Jones.
Blackwell's a special teams demon, so I'm not surprised by that. Jalen Jones is definitely there. I would like to think that he has the opportunity to step up and in front of both of those particular players. Again, in a situation where Kyler Gordon is down. So we'll have to see what really transpires here. I don't think, not to take anything away from him, but I'm not sure if he's really the ideal nickel, right? I don't think. See, like I don't think so. I think he's much better suited on the outside. But
the nickel, I'm telling you guys, nickel, that's a hard job for a rookie.
Yeah,
unless you've taken several reps, and he has none at Texas that I can recall. I've seen all that stuff, and I'm telling you, people don't understand how naked you feel out there at nickel because you got the whole field to work with.
Yeah,
and so it's different at boundary corner. You gotta, you only got a handful of things they can do on the route tree. You got the entire route tree at nickel cornerback. That's a hell of a lot of responsibility. You got to come up and support in the run game, which is this physicality. That's one thing, and he's only about $182, if that. That's one thing. And then just knowing everything that could be done to him, and they'll pick that guy apart if he's not ready for that nickel role. I mean, they will pick him apart. He's out there at any capacity as a rookie. Trust me when I tell you, they will find him, and they will see. That's the toughest thing about being a rookie is once they put you out there, you in the washing machine, Jack.
You're damn straight. And to be honest with you, now I'm starting to agree with where your head was, right? Like you also kind of don't want to put a player, especially a player drafted at his position. You want to put a player in a position to succeed, right? Yeah. This might not be that for Malik Muhammad.
Exactly.
Right. So I hear where you're coming from now that I'm thinking about it a little bit deeper. Yeah, opportunity to get on the field and make his impression felt. But what if that impression is I'm not a really good nickelback, right? Like let's just be honest about this. There's a potential for it to go either way in this particular position. It's not the same, quote unquote, as being out on the wings.
Well, if if he gets like put in at nickelback and gets exposed, being a rookie or otherwise, just him being put in that position to have to be put in nickelback means we got bigger problems, bro.
You're damn straight,
buddy. That's exactly what it means. He's out there hung out there on the clothesline at nickel. Well, that means they're gonna play a lot of zone after that.
So, since we're here having this conversation, if it isn't Malik Muhammad at that nickel position in backup capacity for Kyler Gordon, who you think it is? And like, I'm gonna answer the question that I'm asking, and I'm gonna assume Josh Blackwell.
No,
Cam Lewis, bro.
Cam Lewis. That's what
Cam Lewis.
Cam Lewis for, because they're not sure about Kyler. So that was what that trade was all about, making sure we got a qualified backup.
Damn. Oh, they saw this coming.
Yeah, of course they did. You know, you got a guy constantly having, soft tissue injuries. You got to make sure you can get somebody in there that can get you in and out of games, man.
And I hate to say this, but isn't it coincidental that my boy just happened to sign, he just happened to get the bag. It's like, oh, shit.
Well, coincidental, you say? But, bro, I don't want to, like, question his motives or nothing, but we know something from Ryan Poles and the Power Poles don't tell you, and Coach Football Psycho, is that they love players that love football. And that's all they want to do is football. But Spidey, even though he may love football, like him doing a YouTube channel, going around eating different foods, that's not football. And so when they see that, it's like, man, how much salt is in that shit you eating? Do you even know?
What you eating out there?
He's like going to different places, bro, and living his man versus food dreams. I don't fucking know. And he just like going to places and he's posting up like, "Ooh, this has a good bouquet. Oh, this dances on my tongue," or whatever the fuck he's doing, bro. I don't know, but it's food reviews. It's not football. And so I think like, even though like guys need to have like outside interest and shit, but I don't think anybody on this team needs outside interest other than football. And I think that's like from the top down. So his motivations like could be in question too, bro.
I'm gonna take another take on that. I'm all for people getting away from football when it's time to get away from football and living a regular life as much as you can. And I'm all with that. I ain't gonna tax him for out there doing him, you know what I mean? But whatever you're doing, keep football in the back of your mind, especially when it comes to consuming food and all that kind of stuff. You eat some stuff that's gonna help you out when you get on the field. So when you got to use those calories you just put in your body, you can use them the right. It's good calories and bad calories out there is what I learned. And however you doing that, good fat, bad fat as well, man. It's how you doing that is important. But also, man, you just never know. One of the things that talking to cats that I know, what goes on off the field sometimes shows up on the field. Like it could be quietly something going on with somebody and we just don't know about it, and that's affecting him. It could be some people, trying to take something from him and got something for ransom, and who knows, anything could be going on the sideline. I ain't making no excuses for him, but back to the conversation about Malik Muhammad, I think kids probably made probably said it the best. Not putting him out there and having to have him be exposed, putting him in a situation where he can win. And I think the earlier you have to put a young cat out there, it's better for him, but it's a double-edged sword. Because if it goes the wrong way, that muscle memory and those memories, if he doesn't have a short memory, that sticks to you.
Yeah.
You're gonna get out there and you're gonna play nervous, you're gonna start doing some things wrong because you're not sure, you're nervous.
Not confident in yourself and your abilities in the position.
You start, too many bad plays start to happen and you start affecting the team in a bad way, that's going to get in your head. So I want him out there when he's ready, when the coaches deem like that guy is ready. Now, can that happen in warp speed during this rookie offseason, who knows? It's possible. But I don't want to see that guy until he's ready to play some NFL football. That's it. But yes, he can push for a starting role this year, but probably somewhere later on after a few bumps and bruises, man.
Well, I'll be straight about this one. I expect him to, if there's any injury or slowness with Jalen and Tariq, I think he's your man up, right? I think he's the next guy to step into that role. The nickel position is like we've been saying, it's a little bit special. The question is, can he do it? Does he have any experience doing it? Both of these are still question marks because he definitely doesn't have experience doing it in the NFL, right?
Yeah, I remember that, AC. He says, remember when Kyler got eaten alive, I was still doing stuff with the bar room. I remember Aldo asking me a specific question about Kyler right when you're saying this, when Kyler was getting eaten up as a rookie. And once you put him out there and you determine to let him play, what Aldo asked me, he was like, hey, yo, Nomad, and Kyler's not looking good out there, man. What do you think you think they should just pull him? And I was like, no, that's the worst thing you can do at this point.
Yeah.
And the only reason why is because he didn't lack for confidence as all that was happening to him. He did not seem to be losing his confidence. He was just not sure what was happening to him, and he needed a lot of reps. He needed a lot of reps to, build his, get his computer, his Rolodex together, man. He can have a certain muscle memory you're going to have because they can only do so much stuff to you. And the more he plays and the more reps he has, the more confident he was going to get. And so we knew that Kyler had to play. We was in a situation when he got drafted that he had to play. And so, yeah, under his circumstances, yeah, he needed to stay out there and just get used to it. This guy, that's a different level. This is something different completely. He doesn't have to be out there.
So Kyler also got ate up because he was splitting time between boundary and nickel. Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, this is probably one of the best decisions Matt Eberflus ever made as a head coach. But it was just, hey, look, Kyler, you're just gonna be the nickel now, right? Like you're not gonna take snaps over at the corner. We know you can do it in a pinch. If we got to put you out there, we will. But just focus on this and learn this and be about this. And no questions did he take that on and excel at it over time. But y'all right, man. It did take him a little bit to figure that role out. It ain't easy, man.
I also want to make a point about this too, man. People don't understand like what you're asking. You're asking a guy that's not physically built really to play. You basically playing an extra linebacker is what you're doing that can run and cover. That's what a nickel role is doing. You supplementing when they take a linebacker off the field. You have to play that role when that call comes your way. And you're not made at 190 pounds, 192 pounds to be bumping and grinding with guys that are 225, 235, 240 that are built for this. And that's a butt whooping on your shoulders, man. Your shoulders take a real ass whooping down in that box, bro. Trust me when I tell you. And the as many reps as you take down in there, as many times you have to fill those gaps, you feel that shit after every game, brother. And so some of that could be that going on with him.
No, it's very true, man. Trippy Chad. AC, man, you're right with the Buster Scrine thing. What's funny, Buster Scrine was the same thing. He came in, he played nickel, got ate up the first few games, and then eventually got acclimated to it and started to play it well. He actually got a real decent contract out after leaving the team too, but short-lived nonetheless. Put that out there too.
A nice 7 to 9 year run. He was good.
Yeah, he did quite well for himself, man. He did quite well.
That's pretty good for an NFL player these days.
Yeah, you're right.
But all right, let's get to another conversation. And this is interesting, man, because kids usually has a lot to say about this matter. But let me pose it to you this way. Question is, do you think the defense can rise to the occasion without being relying heavily on turnovers. I can say that again if you want me to.
Do it.
Do you think the defense can rise to the occasion without being turnover reliant this year? Do you think they can get the job done without turnovers, like the amount of turnovers that they had?
I hate this question. This is a real good question for me. You're right. They better, because ain't no way to like. And so, if you remember last year, I think we got to maybe week 3, and I stopped. We were calling the game, and I was like, man, like, do y'all think that this type of turnover output is sustainable? I had to ask, and you were like, yeah, I think it is. I was like, you crazy. And somehow it was. Somehow they sustained it and kept it moving throughout a long season after week 3, right? So go figure on that one. Unfortunately, the reality is, the players that got them, just about every piece of those turnovers are gone. So I don't think you can rely on that in any capacity this time around. They must find other ways to affect offenses. It's quite literally that simple. So I'll be defense is my biggest worry right now, and like this is like the first time I've ever said that about a Chicago Bears football team. I maybe in life, right? Like it's been some time, but okay, the Trestman years it was a little bit dicey, but anyways, yeah, like they need to be able to rush the passer. I don't know if they can. Right, like they need to be able to, at the very least, just throw quarterbacks off their mark, off their off balance, and or just blanket cover everybody out there, so that they have no place to go with the ball other than run the ball.
Well, but bro, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like they say, speed unalives. I think like this year on defense, Dennis Allen has a couple more pieces that are in tune to his physical requirements, meaning they're faster. And so they can be more disruptive in the run and in the pass. And then they can like disrupt the running lanes and cause this and like boom, fumble because they weren't expecting to be over there. The running back didn't. Or if they're like covering better and stickier in coverage with better, quicker rush, all of that could equal more, let's say, balanced turnovers, and not like just like Dirty Byard playing center field out there or Nashawn Wright, because bro, those dudes like are and Predator Tremaine Edmonds, but all 3 gone, and they were like responsible for the most of the turnovers, but all of them were like ass in their own way on the defense and in coverage or in run support or something. So new year, new you, and so Dennis Allen got some new pieces, and so now it's got to be new ways to get turnovers. And if it's not even like turnovers, even though that's the question, as long as they can like maybe get more 3 and outs and get more opportunities for the offense to put up more points, then that would lead to more turnovers because the opposing offenses will be more one-dimensional and have to throw. So I don't know what the answer is, but bear the fuck down, bro. Let's go.
This answer is so complicated because, and I feel like I've gone over this at least 5-10 times, man. But it's interesting that here we are talking about it again and wondering whether or not this defense can hold up. First thing come to people's minds is just regular fans. They want to know, where's the pass rush going to come from? So let's just address that first. One thing about that I love about this team right now and what they've done is set Austin Booker up to really show and prove. They spent time, effort, resources to getting him where he needs to be. And with a year with him, And, you know, there might have been a time where a lot of people might have said, oh, no, he's just too light for Dennis Allen. He probably is not Dennis Allen's type. If that had been the case, none of the things that happened in the offseason would have happened. They would have definitely got a bona fide another edge rusher outside of Montez Sweat on the other side of Montez Sweat. But they believe in that guy. And so my thoughts to you all, it would be, don't worry about that spot right now. I think he's going to rise to the occasion. He's going to do his part as far as the pass rush goes. Now, the other part of the pass rush comes from Montez Sweat and the guys in the middle. And what I've been saying all off season, I was just geeked about these changes that they made along the defensive tackles. I think they got some of the better, those are some of the better quiet moves of the offseason. I'm talking about with any team. Talking about shuffling that deck around a little bit with those interior guys. I think they got some of the best guys available for the job. You're talking about supplementary players. So you put it all together, what you have is speed, and you have a little bit of mixture of power with speed that comes from the inside and the outside. Because every guy there has that mixture of speed and power. Except for Montez. Montez is not really known for speed off the ball, but he is pretty quick off the ball, and he has long speed. He can really pursue the quarterback. And we know Austin Booker is just getting better and better and better as we go. But those guys that they have in the middle, I'm telling you, those guys are going to be better than the fan base would think. So I'm not as concerned about where the pass rush is going to come from as most people are. I think collectively, those guys are going to get shit done in a way that we don't see coming. Because I think their skill sets play off of each other. And they're also, another valuable thing about them is they're all kind of, you can mix those guys up a little bit, and every guy doesn't have to come from the same position all the time. They can move them around. So that's another little complication that plays into our favor. You got a bunch of guys that can go from here, they can be there, they can hop and switch spots in the middle of the cadence. One guy's playing D tackle when he goes to the line of scrimmage and starts the cadence. Next thing you know, he hops out to the edge. That can be Javon Dexter. That could be even Austin Booker can line up. He's strong enough to get in the interior there if he wants to. Even Montez. All these guys, Dio, those guys and their versatility makes that defensive front very dynamic. Just telling you guys. So look forward to that. It's hard for me to describe that without you guys seeing it all come together on the field. And so you will see. Now, on the other side of that is I'm not worried with the linebacker group. I'm kind of surprised how that came together, but I want to see those guys need to play together a whole lot just to see how this thing is going to look. They need some reps together. But what concerns me more in the defense is the two the two young safeties. Now, I'm having a brain fart on his name right now, but Dylan Thieneman. One of the things that really stuck out to me about his game is how mature it was with him in college. He played like a pro. And they had a lot of dynamic pro sets when he was at Oregon. There's a lot of zoning going on in Purdue. But in Oregon, they manned up a whole lot more, and he was more versatile in that defense, which is why I think he wanted to transfer over there, because they had more variety to the defense, and he can do different things. Purdue was pretty cut and dry. And so that guy's game, and he's a lot more mature than what you would expect from a rookie. That helps me have confidence, even if it's just somewhat. Them two playing together for the first time in this defense gives me a little bit of pause. Because anytime you're doing something for the first time with a new guy next to you, new verbiage and all that kind of stuff, there's a learning curve that needs to happen. Those guys need to get to the point where symmetry happens just instantly. Like, soon as I look at you, you see this over here, I don't even got to say nothing. And you know to go down, and I got you covered. You can go down there and jump that, I'm going to cover your back. But that takes a certain amount of reps you got to have together. And so my concern with the defense is a lot less it's different than what you guys think. You guys are thinking about the front and the pass rush that's coming from there. My concern is the back end of it, and can those dudes find symmetry to make everything right up front? if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. That's all new. That's all new people, new personnel back there trying to acclimate. I guess with the slight exceptions of TJ in the linebacker core, Jalen and Tariq, and Mr. Jackson as well. Like that's about all the cohesion that you have. Everybody else is more or less new and has to sort of figure out A, their role, B, how to trust the guy next to you. And that doesn't just materialize in no time, right? It's going to take a couple of games for that to shake out. And that's, the only reason why there's a little bit of a focus on the pass rush is because of those missing, turnover culprits, for lack of a better thing to call it. You got to do something. You have to make your impression felt in some capacity. And last year, we know how it was felt. It was in those turnovers. This year, I don't think we can count on that at all. I don't think we're going to see anything near the number of turnovers that we experienced last season. So, that pressure, that defense, if you will, has to come from other places. Maybe it comes from speed, as both these gentlemen are alluding. So hopefully that's truly the modus operandi, and they we see it on the field in September and throughout the season.
I tell you another thing too, kids. Some of the throws that were made that ended up being interceptions. I'm talking about from linebackers, talking about some of the even some of the corners that got interceptions. A lot of those were caused because they had veteran safeties back there, and it caused the quarterback to drop, come down in his progression and throw the ball elsewhere. He didn't want to go over the top, and so just by way of just pure presence of Kevin Byard, a lot of times caused that ball to go to places where it's more advantageous to the Bears, and they ended up being picks. That's the advantage of having a really good veteran safety that knows what he's doing. He makes balls go in other places. Is going to be to our advantage.
That's why. Go ahead.
Well, we don't have those guys now, though, bro. We don't the crafty, wily veterans. Even though, like Kobe Bryant, he's got a Super Bowl ring, bro. But he's still young, and it's still a new team, new city, new defense for him. Like Nomad was saying, and then a rookie, Dylan Thieneman, he's a rookie. So it's not like this team is like established and it's just a few free agents that we got to wait for them to gel. We got a lot of new guys learning the whole new defense, learning the whole new trust the guy next to you thing. And so it's going to be like, all right, we got to learn all that. And then we got to gel. So it could be like halfway through the season before the defense even starts to look like, okay, I see what they're cooking here. Because it's like, oh, shit, I thought you had that gap. It's going to happen a lot. Or it's like, oh, I thought you had that coverage. Or, what I mean? They're going to have to clean some stuff up. But they're professionals. And so that's why we look for the offense to be like, yo, we know this is the Bears. And we know this is Chicago. But the offense, like we've never seen before, is going to have to carry the team until the defense can start carrying its own water, bro.
I think what we all saying right now is it's got to all come together. And how that all comes together is a lot of reps, man. That's the only way. This is the only way it comes together. You got to get time on task, get on that grass, and, you got to mess it up so that you can know how you can do it better. Guys have to understand, who does this well. And, hey, when he identifies something, do you trust him? If Dylan goes until Kobe gives him a nod and say, hey, man, I might jump this tight end on this. That's not the play call. And, Kobe might just say, hey, no. Just play that one back, man. Don't do that. Play that one back to stay to the principle. Or he might just be like, hey, if you see it, go ahead and get it. That kind of stuff takes time. That kind of stuff. What up, Foster?
Hey.
What up, man? But yeah, that's my only thing about them is that the process with the defense is still cooking because there's a lot more new pieces over there than it is on offense. So that has to cook. That's got to get on the stove, brother.
You guys are nailing it, and like I say, that's where I'd be in a better mental place with respect to this defense if Kevin Byard was a part of it. I'm just going to baseline this thing. I feel like he would have been able to transfer a lot of the knowledge required for this defense to the next guy coming in to play beside him in the absence of a Jaquan Brisker, et cetera, et cetera. That having that wily veteran to me was extremely important. I thought signing him maybe for 2 years on a regular safety deal was on the table, and that's more or less what he signed for elsewhere. I thought retaining him would have paid benefit for this growing team. Unfortunately, these young men are going to have to figure this thing out together in relative short order as we move towards September, because all eyes are on them. But I think Tripp kind of hit the nail on the head, because Shad as well, man. Shad's just
he's on this shit tonight.
He's just crushing it in the chat, y'all. Like, big ups to Shad. And why I say that is that if the offense is on the field for a hell of a lot longer, putting points up on the board, it does technically take a lot of onus off of the defense. Also allows the defense to sit back and get rested. So I'm really hoping that that's the situation. More sustainable drives on the offense, more points, and in light of potentially a growing defensive situation.
I don't think you understand. You guys understand it when I say it, because I've said it before, but that opens up a whole other side of the play calling sheet. When the offense is doing its thing and handling their business on that side of the ball, and the defense is not out there astronomical amounts of time, you know what I mean? You can only call certain plays when you got a defense that's constantly running in and out of there. You're going to do some things different, man. But when you got an offense that's sustaining drives, getting first downs, and putting points up on the board, that opens up a whole backside of that play call sheet.
Well, you're 1,000,000,000% right. And to be frank with you, that side of the play call sheet bodes well for us, right? Like, it speaks to what we want to defend. Right. We talked maybe a week or two ago about missing Andrew Billings and Big Four. You want to make a team one-dimensional, and that's how you do it, right? You put points up. They got to throw the football. And if they're busy throwing the football at a pretty decent secondary, will be tested early, obviously. But as long as these guys can hold water, turnovers or no turnovers, 4 and out's 4 and out.
That's when you get to put extra DBs on the field, and you can kind of, those guys up front can kind of pin them ears back and go.
And that's your strength, right? That's playing to your strength.
Yeah, that's the formula, man. I think that's why everything that happened this offseason happened, is preparing the team for that eventuality. We're going to put up numbers. You guys are going to be able to play fast and aggressive. And so, get fast guys. Get guys that can cover the field, cover a lot of field real fast, so that when that ball goes up, they can go cover ground and get it. So that's what they're looking forward to. So that's why I think the whole thing with turnovers, I don't think the team has to be reliant, but they will get them at a high clip. If the offense does what we think this offense can do, they will turn that ball over, because the ball is going to be up for the grab.
It's going to be in the sky. You're right. That's what we need to hope for.
So, yeah, I got confidence in that all coming together, and I don't think we have to be turnover reliant, but we will get them at a decent clip if that offense does what it has to do. So,
there it is.
Another question is, let me pull this up.
Big ups to Foster Covers, man. Everybody's good, brother. Hopefully everything is good with you and the fam over at BCP as well. Big ups.
Yeah, man.
Did you know that Foster is the greatest aphrodisiac is a woman that's wearing an ankle monitor?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's right up Foster's alley, actually. For sure.
That's what.
That's his wheelhouse, bro.
That's
All right, let's get that one off. Let's get this one up. This question is pretty interesting because Trip he didn't know that we were going down this road, and he just
okay. Wait a minute before we do this. The Harris Bear. He's asking. He's saying, is Austin Booker a 10-sack guy, or are we mid on defense?
Austin Booker can be easily a 10-sack guy if things play the way we think they will this year. After what I just got through describing Harris Bear couch, he easily can get 10 sacks. He can surpass 10 sacks by game 10.
Bro, he would have had 10 sacks last season if he was healthy all year.
Yeah, I think that's if they're playing with lead, if they're playing with the with the wind to their backs, there ain't gonna be no problem with him getting no 10 sacks. There's gonna be other guys that are gonna be putting up some numbers too.
See. Well, that's the overall hope, and I know Shad was asking very similar things, man. Just with respect to if Booker is the standout, how good does he have to be? I say between eight and double-digit sacks, 8 on the low. And let's be real here. I think he got 5 in 7 games. Like it was like he didn't play all season last season. He was hurt for quite some time. So if he can get that type of output in short order, let's see what he can do with a full season.
Man, I think the sky's the limit for him this year. That offense does what it's supposed to do, and they're not having to play handicap. So, yeah, man. But here's a question with this Ben Johnson. And Tripp kind of alluded to it a little bit. The question is, how will Ben Johnson's offense evolve with – wait a minute, let me make sure I got this right. No, I said this wrong. How will Ben Johnson's offense evolve after coordinators get a year's worth of film on his offense? What do you think? How you think this offense looks different based on what we put on the field last year?
Come on.
Oh. Tripp, you want to go?
Bro, Coach Football Psycho knows that, like, defensive coordinators are expecting him to zig, so he's going to zag. And when they expect him to zag, he's going to zig. But then when they expect him to zig and he zigs, he's going to be like, I'm still going to put my players and my athletes in a position to make plays. So I got no worries that whatever defensive coordinators throw at Coach Football Psycho, that he's going to be like, yo, bro, like I thought about this shit way back in April, like when I was taking a boo-boo and I took some notes on the back of a paper towel and here it is right here. Like, here's your defense that I thought of while I was taking a shit, bro. So I think that's the kind of attitude that Coach Football Psycho has going in. And I think that he has the chops to pull it off, bro.
Okay. I do too. ATF in the chat is saying 12 and 13 personnel. I think that's a good look. But I think one of the major differentiators this season is going to be pre-snap motion. And why I say that is because of your homeboy Triple R sent me to go watch Xavier Thomas and what he's all about.
Bro.
And I went, so I went and I took a look. I messed around. I didn't look. And then I did. And when I did, the offenses that Xavier Thomas was on, they're moving him all over the place, right? They're moving him out wide. And like before the snap, next thing you know, he's in the backfield and he's running the football, or it's a wheel route after all that motion, or it's just a quick little out route and he can't be caught with speed. I think a lot of motion this time around is going to be seen. And when they said, Ben Johnson was just kind of rocking in his chair when they were deciding whether or not to get Xavier Thomas at the spot where they got him, I think like this motion case scenario is like exactly what he was rocking in his chair about, going, man, you know what? I can move this kid all over the place and just throw defenses off. And if the offense looks anything like that, and I really expect it to look like that, it's going to be wild. It's going to be super fun to watch. I think Bears fans will be going crazy on a weekly basis. Super happy Mondays. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's what I'm expecting this time around. Again, he has a way of making, different look the same. I expect to see that with a whole lot of motion.
Here's what I expect to see a lot more of, and you saw a little bit of it this year. This is going to be, or last year. This is going to be. They're going to really, really tear people up in the short game. You're going to see screens, running back screens. You're going to see receiver screens, and I'm not talking about regular receiver screens. I'm talking about dynamic receiver screens. They're going to come out of all kinds of different formations and looks. You might even see a bunch more tight end screens with Colston Loveland involved in a lot of that. You got to remember, man, Ben Johnson, probably care packaged that offense, making sure that, hey, we need to get these things down before we can really start getting in the bag a whole lot, before I can really bring out, some of the stuff that I want to do, and to add on some talent to help do that. Having Xavier in the fold, you might even see some wildcat out of certain situations. You might see some goal line wildcat. You might see some middle of the field wildcat, some tempo wildcat, and things go well. You got a handful of guys on that team that are not quarterbacks that can throw the ball too. Don't forget that. And so the many different ways that Ben Johnson, and he's got, what I love about him, he's not a stuck in the mud mind guy. Like, I'm going to do this. This is what's always worked, and I'm going to do this. No, I think he plays it as it comes to him, and game plans to the strengths of his offense. Not only that, but where he thinks the defense is susceptible. And so that attack from this offense can come in so many different ways. So yeah, whatever they saw on tape, it's going to be plenty of that stuff to happen, but it's going to happen to you in a different way. So that if you keyed on something on film when you watched the Philly game when they were in this set, right? And you just know for a fact that when they get in this set, this is what is going to come out of it. It's one or two things, this or that. He's going to make sure it's going to be different next time they see that. So I think he's going to evolve like every coach has to in every offseason, man. They have to evolve, because what they put on film last year, you can keep running that stuff if you want to, but you're going to put yourself in a predicament at some point, because it's going to be very predictable. So you have to evolve as a coach, as a coordinator, to what the defense is. So all these teams out here with all these, a defensive scheme is pretty cookie cutter, outside of a handful of maybe a couple, 2 or 3 teams that really do stuff. Like one team, I can tell you right now, one of them, Dennis Allen, was coaching, but the other one was Sean McDermott coaching in Buffalo. You just really don't know when you get to that line of scrimmage what call they're in. There's a cover 2? No, there ain't no cover 2. There's a cover 3? No, it's not. They got guys in the freaking 9-10 guys down there in the box pre-snap, and then they all fan out post-snap. That's hard for a quarterback to get a beat on, and it's going to take him a little bit more time to get through his cadence, because he's trying to read that. And so that's what those teams like that are a little bit harder to plan for. The rest of these teams pretty cookie cutter, man. You know what the weaknesses are. You got to tackle them. So it's not complicated in that way. You just got a handful of coaches out here that bring some really dynamic stuff to the table. We got one on our team. Other one ain't. I don't know where Sean McDermott is, but that was a really dynamic defense, man. But yeah, Ben Johnson's got the chops to do this, man. That's light work for him to be dynamic with his play calling.
ATF saying Minnesota got one of them coaches too, and ain't no lie there, man. I think he's a real good coach. I just don't know. I just don't know of a certain if the other Kyler takes well to coaching. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think he's gonna surprise some people.
I don't want to hear that now.
I'm just being honest with you. I think that's exactly what the doctor ordered for him.
I don't want to hear that at all, man.
I told you at the beginning, man. I told y'all, man. I said, do not be surprised. And this is a whole different looking guy in this system.
Man, I like Kyler Murray. I'll be honest. I also like Call of Duty.
There's nobody on planet Earth would have told you that the quarterback that came in there that year, what's his name? He just won the Super Bowl.
What are you talking about? Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold.
Nobody in their right mind would have told you that he can come in there and light it up in the Vikings offense. But that's exactly what he did. Because this guy's got a way of making really dynamic West Coast offense really simple and reading it and staying in rhythm with that. So I'm telling you, do not be surprised if they're tough fucking out.
Don't want to hear that shit at all. Just saying. But again, I'm just hoping that Kyler Murray's just not mentally into football anymore. And away we go. It isn't a talent thing. I'll tell you that. Kid can play.
Yeah. You put that in a proven system and a guy that knows what he's doing with quarterbacks, watch the hell out. Watch out. All right. One last question I got before we got to get up out of here, man, because I got my back against the wall. Now, I'm gonna take this off the screen and I'm gonna ask. I know it's two guys that's gonna come to mind, so I got it ready for you guys. Who will lead in target share as a receiver this year and why? Start with you, kid. Well, you start. You can go Trips if you want to.
Yeah, go for it, Trip.
I think C Love, not only because he's invited to all the cookouts, but because there's wide receivers and the safeties are going to be playing back with the cornerbacks to try to stop and contain like Darth Burton and roam around the world, and then the 4-2 Xavion and then Khalif. So the secondary of other defenses are going to be busy, and C Love is a linebacker's nightmare to match up with, and so if Gizmo takes the candy, that'll be a lot of C Love receptions because he'll be right in that comfort zone, and then he got the athletic ability to break the tackles and to get that yak, so that's going to add to those yards. And so I know the question's like receptions, but it's going to be like a lot just for C Love, bro, and I think he's going to be leading.
First, target share is, it ain't receptions. It's about how many times that ball is thrown at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I hope it ain't him. Godly. You know
really?
how many? Yeah, I'll tell you why, man. Because those dudes take a lot of close quarter punishment, man. Giving that guy the ball too many times, he's going to get hurt eventually. Taking the leg shots and yeah, man. You don't want to.
Well, that's why we have 3 of them.
I'm just saying, man. I hope he ain't leading in targets. Shit. I hope he's like third rung on that thing.
I'm gonna answer this in a couple of different ways. So first one is I think Tripp is bang on. That was gonna be my answer too. I think Colston Loveland is the guy who gets the most targets because he's the safety blanket now. He's in the Keenan Allen role. That's my little comparison. He ain't nothing like Keenan Allen, mind you, but he'll be in the center of the field trying to play backyard football, getting open, and that's going to increase his target share over and above what he had last season. That's my 2 cents. The other portion of all this, I don't know if we're really going to have much of a target share differential at all. I think this ball gets spread across the field relatively equally. I think, much like Shad is saying in the chat, ATF, I think Xavion Thomas eats into that target share. I think Sam Roush starts to eat into that target share to a certain degree. Let's not forget Cole Kmet is going to get targets. I think the target share is going to be a little bit flat, which does one specific thing at the end of the season it goes to show you who the best player on the team, on the field is. And that player, hopefully, is Caleb Williams.
All right. I'll give you guys what I think. And I think this is, for me, it's a pretty simple one, man. And I think this is going to be the number one target guy again. He's going to. Here's the thing. What should be considered, given this question we just asked, is is there a guy out there that they feel like they're gonna have to take away? If there's a guy on the team they feel like they're gonna double team, who do you think it is? And I think more than likely it's gonna be this cat right here. But I will not double team Rome Odunze. At least not the very beginning part of the season. Now, if he shows me, I think he's gonna get like 10 targets a game. At least 10 targets a game, and him being a very reliable receiver is going to open up a whole lot of stuff. Now, if that starts to become what it started to look like last year, where he just tearing stuff up, that's going to be, or his rookie year, he was tearing it up pretty good too, early in his rookie year. If that becomes that again, pretty likely Rome Odunze is going to start getting some roll coverage. And that's when everything is going to open up for a lot more guys. So I think they're going to be very intentional about targeting him early and often to open up some of these other weapons. A smart coordinator would do that. Making Rome your first read. You see Rome open or in close coverage, throw the ball up, let him get the ball. That starts to happen enough. Now defense should start to roll coverage over. That's when the game opens up, fellas. That's when the whole game opens up. Once they have to commit to him, everybody gets love. It's the way it should be. So I think. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I think it's the almost the opposite thing's going to happen. I think they're going to start the season by double teaming him, just like you said, which will force targets over to Luther Burden. In that scenario, eventually they're going to double team Luther Burden instead. And I think at that point, that's when Xavier Thomas starts to make his impression felt. I think this thing goes all around. Like I'm telling you. And when Xavier becomes a double team guy, then they start to go back to Luther and
Xavier never going to be a double team guy because he's going to play out of the slot most of the time.
Like you watch that tape, right?
How many times have you ever seen somebody commit to somebody that's playing out the slot? That's why they put him in the slot.
No, you're right. You're bang on. A lot of his snaps are out wide, just because you can control that side of the field by putting them out wide. It's weird. It's not to be like under normal pretenses you wouldn't expect it, but don't be surprised if there are snaps with Khalif Raymond in the slot and Xavier Thomas out wide.
Oh yeah, they'll mix it up, but primarily his role will be from the slot.
Well, but like to go to your point that you were saying that you hope it wasn't C-Love because of the punishment. I know that Rome around the world, he's tough, bro, and that his foot injury or the stress fracture or whatever's wrong with it, he's got a new normal of how to run, and like, so I appreciate him like adjusting and going out there, but I don't want to put that much of a burden. It's
unintended,
but different. But like give him that many receptions. I'm not saying like nurse him or go soft on him, but just don't put that much of a load on him. No Diddy, and then like spread it around, because Coach Football Psycho. I mean, you got all the weapons that we mentioned, and so as defenses try to stop this guy, they go to that guy. And there's a rollover coverage to that guy, you go to that guy. And so eventually, if it's all like equal, I wouldn't be mad at that, bro.
I know why Rome has had having a foot problem right now. I could see that coming too, because Rome is big, Rome is strong as hell, and Rome gets the ball in his hand. He is like, if you think about it, you very rarely goes down with one guy on him. He's carried a couple guys a few times, and that extra weight, and you still running with them bodies on you. Best thing I can tell Rome is when you feel wrapped up, just go ahead and go down, man. Stop trying to carry people. Everybody wants to make that yak, but that yak carrying that extra weight can give you a foot fracture, man, for sure. So yeah, that would be my advice to him. Like, man, when you feel yourself wrapped up and you got bodies on you, man, just go ahead and take the L. Don't try to run through that shit. That's what I would tell Rome. But I do expect Rome Odunze to be the leader in the target share category. I think a close second is going to be this guy right here. He's going to be like, I think the sky is so much the limit with him. He's going to eventually be the guy that gets the double team. But what's going to be different about him is they can also put him in the slot and hide him a little bit. That's the dynamic that he brings to the game. So if and when that happens, when teams start trying to take him away, they can line Luther, motion him to the slot, and they can narrow down how many things they can do to him, and he can wiggle free for some open yardage, man. But he's gonna be a problem. He's gonna be a problem, especially if they start rolling coverage.
That's what I'm saying. I think collectively they're all gonna be a problem. I'm gonna say something stupid and hate me for it later. I don't know if we get 1,000-yard wide receiver this year. Just gonna be real about this. I think like everybody's gonna have like 850 almost across the board, right? Like that is really my thoughts, and I'm including the running backs in this 850 as well. The motion case scenario I was bringing up earlier on speaks specifically to this player and Xavion, as well as Khalif Raymond. They can move Khalif all over the place too. But those three players, when double teams are coming down and they're really zeroing in on any of them, they can really make things different. And this is where Ben is the offensive genius that he is. I kind of expect to see him do all of that. It's funny. I just don't expect him to do that type of stuff with Rome. I think Rome is much more, like I compare Rome to Allen Robinson. So he's like your 50-50 ball guy. I can see his role on this team. It's a very important role. I just don't know if he's going to see the target share that that is to be expected. I hate to say it, but I think this ball gets thrown all over the yard.
Hey, kids, a great comp for Luther Burden?
DJ Moore.
Nope. Young Mike Evans. Yeah. Think about it.
I am. That's not a bad comp at all, really.
That's what he is, a young Mike Evans. He's a 50-50 ball winner, tough possession receiver, make the big plays when you need to make them. He's everything Mike Evans is, just younger.
Interesting. That is a good comp. Need to see a little bit of that out of him this season, that's for sure. But like I say, I think this ball gets thrown all over that's what I'm trying to say, ATF. That's what I'm trying to say. Like exactly that. Exactly that. Right? And like there's going to be other contributors in the mix here. So split, like, let's say Cole Kmet gets another 400 yards as opposed to 850, and or who's Manon guy gets another 200, 300, right? Like floating around. I think that making that magic number is not impossible. I think it's clear potential this season. I really do. And it's just a matter of Caleb being comfortable with the folks he's working with and comfortable with getting his foot set when he throws a football. Like the boom, boom, you nail those two things. I think that magic number is easily achievable, especially coming off a 3,900-yard season. Like he's almost there as it was.
Well, last thing, since we're talking about Luther real quick, let me get another take on him. I said this before, and I believe I'll say it again. You didn't see him for a large early chunk of the season, and I knew why. That offense is dynamic, and you better get that verbiage down. You better get those hot reads down. You better get your audibles down, your checks, everything that every one of your emotions, you better know them down cold. And you better be able to execute them during practice that week, or you probably won't see the field very much at all. And as you can see, as the season started to extend a little bit, as far as we started to get, more and more you start to see that guy out there. And the next thing you know, DJ's role is starting to get a little bit more. He's coming out of the backfield. He's doing a lot of different things because they're trying to ease Luther into the fold because he's learning and he's getting down. He's knowing his stuff. And I think that behind the scenes is you're not going to see the field until you got your shit down cold. Unless you got it down cold in practice. I don't care where we drafted you. You ain't got your shit down cold in practice. You will not get out there. And that's what it was with Luther. He was just getting the stuff down. And when he had it down, you knew it because he was out there more.
So I think you're very close to the reality of the situation. I do think that he was able to spend that time acclimating to the system, right? While he was off the field. I do think a fair amount of him not being on the field was because DJ Moore was in that role. The other portion, and I say this to anyone who's listening. I don't think the Chicago Bears went into that draft looking to pick up Luther Burden. I honestly don't. I think Luther Burden fell to them in a situation where they could not pass up this talent available at that time. And I'm so happy they did not pass on this talent. That being the case, once he's fully acclimated, just like you're saying, though, man, and he started to become that a little bit later on into the season. But even in those, even in the postseason, you could see he was a little bit off with respect to his knowledge of the offense. I think given a year's time, right, given another training camp, I think he'll be right there ready, especially knowing that he's going to be in that pole position wide receiver role, right? Like he knows he'll be on the field all day long on Sundays. I think that changes the Luther Burden that we saw last year into something a little bit different. I can't wait to see it because, in my opinion, that DJ Moore was heavily misused last year for all intents and purposes, and most of those are probably his fault. Just calling it like I see it. I don't think any of that translates over to Luther Burden. I think this is green pastures and fresh new eyes coming onto the field and ready to experience a quarterback who has very similar attributes.
Bro, let me tell you something else. One last thing about Luther Burden, where his game takes another step. I could see sometimes, and even with his route running, when they were putting him on the field, when he was learning the offense and having it down cold and the coach was confident in putting him on the field, one thing he can get better at, and this is some master class level shit, is not only reading the defense, knowing how to trim a route, knowing how to widen a route, where to sit down at in the coverage of those zones. That gives the quarterback more confidence. And those two together, knowing that he knows how to do that and he sees the same thing the quarterback does, he can trim a route, fatten a route, sit down exactly where he needs to be at and be a viable target for the quarterback. And he's going to see a lot more targets once he reaches that mastery level of route running. So that's just knowing defenses, knowing exactly what the coverage is, and how to run those routes according to that coverage, where to sit his ass down, where to flatten a route at, where to fatten one at, what I mean by fatten, get a little wider on your route because you're getting a little bit more, let's just say, inside coverage and you want to get a little wider so you can stay away from the hit a little bit. That is the kind of stuff that's mastery level route running.
Yeah, so it'll take him a little while to get there. You're right.
Yeah, that's why Justin Jefferson's so good. He understands defenses and knows how to trim it, fatten it, sit down right in the right place, and he's always open.
That's what we want to see. We want to see one of these two guys, more or less become something along those lines. And I think they both have the capability of doing it. And this is Luther Burden and Rome Odunze we're talking about. Question is, will we see it on the field this season? Strangely enough, I think we're going to see it in spades. I do think one of these two guys does take the reins as to being that more feared wide receiver. But I do expect, again, I expect stuff is going to go across the board, more or less, almost even.
I tell you what, though, kid. Last thing about Luther, I tell you what the end result is going to be if he does not start mastering that route running and getting real precise with how he does it. Caleb's going to throw the ball anyway, and he's going to get smoked. That's the side effect of not running the route right.
Yeah, that might happen too. That has been known to happen. Hopefully that's not the case, man. I don't think it'll be the case. I think these guys will have enough time on task with respect to just training camp, off season, etc. I think they're really building that rapport. So we'll see, man. I'm super as much as I may sound pessimistic with the defense, I am super optimistic with what Ben Johnson has put forward. And this kid right here, I've said it before, I think the league messed up when they let Luther Burden 3 come to Chicago.
Yeah, Ralph said he just jumped in. What up, Ralph? I ain't seen you in a minute. Glad you're here. Let me take this down real quick before I answer that.
Oh, it's Ralph Love. What it do, Ralph Love?
Yes, he says
that would have been messed up if Ralph's parents named his middle name Earl.
Ralph Earl Love. Boy, I swear. All right, man. Look, he says, Nomad, do you think good, better, best can work this year? You know what? They thinking about that concept. Yeah. I mean, dude, the question is who are all the good? That's the better question. Who are all the good? Who's going to be leading that good charge this year? Especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Man, a
bunch of young talent over there, I'll tell you that.
I think there's a whole lot of good, bro.
Who's going to be leading that charge though? Because they got to be the leaders. Now you got
I think the leader is the best, and I think his name is Caleb Williams. I think there's a whole bunch of good on that offense, and I think we're going to see some of those young cats in a much better light than we saw them in last year.
Yeah, I think it's all about chemistry this year, and it's about how much time they putting in together, knowing that it's going to be different this year, Ralph, is now we playing with a target on our back for the first time in a while. And that's going to be a test all within itself. Like every game, people are going to be trying to knock the Bears off. And you got to be much better than you were last year. And you ain't got that much time to get it there either.
This is it. The question is this Bears? Let me rephrase this. Can this Bears offense be executed that much better than it was last year? And I think all of us, all the chat, I think all the Bears fans out there can agree. Yeah, it sure as hell could, because we left a lot of points on the table, especially in the first half of football games. If we're able to actually come out gangbusters and leave gangbusters, I don't know what the league is going to do. Whether they, regardless as to what they saw, because let's be frank here, right? So some of the stuff that Ben Johnson had done last year, he had also done in Detroit. There is some stuff, right? And what's funny is Amon-Ra St. Brown on his show has alluded to that a couple of times, going, damn, like that was our play, man. You know what I mean? Like I used to run that route. This is bullshit, right? But I don't think he's really reinventing the wheel here. I think he has his wheel. He's figured out how to put, all kinds of different spokes on that thing, and they all look exactly the same.
Some rims. He got some curve feelers.
Those, spinners got the whole shebang on there.
He's got the rainbow colors.
You got it
on his joints.
Them rims looking crazy, but in the end, it all looks the same, right? And that is the best part about this. The other piece is, even though it looks the same, if I'm motioning a guy in from the wing, that look different. That ain't what you guys are used to. You didn't see that last year.
Dog, here's the thing. what the Bears, I think the very first hurdle they're gonna have to jump is, getting everybody yoked and getting everybody on the same page. First thing they're gonna have to do, and that's gonna happen behind the scenes in camp. Once they jump that hurdle and get some chemistry going, they get some flow going between them. Once they come out of the camp and get ready to go into the season, the second thing that's gonna happen, and it's probably gonna be what makes this team or breaks this team, is the level of competition is going to go up tremendously because everybody's going to be taking this shot at them. You got a team that's, the cover of the face of Madden is Caleb Williams, number one. The second thing is they damn near was in the Super Bowl. They gave the Rams a run. They gave the Rams a run for it, and the Rams, that's a Super Bowl contender. Everybody's going to be gunning for the Chicago Bears. We're not the same team as we were yesterday. Now, at least our status isn't. So expect that. And that's a hurdle to overcome all within itself. And that takes grit. And as the level of the play rises against you, can you meet that level and go above it? That's going to be the next thing they have to deal with after they come out of that camp. Because right out the gate, I don't care who it is, they're going to be trying to take their best shot at them.
And this is what I'm saying. I think Ben's prepared for this, right? I think he's actually prepared for this, and that's where that motion I've been talking about, I think that is really what comes into play. You've seen this. You saw it last year. But what happens when I move that wide receiver somewhere else? What happens when I move this running back somewhere else? Y'all didn't see it last year. This is the same. All of a sudden, it's different at the snap. So I'm super stoked to see this. And again, watching what Zay did in his college and in high school it's pretty crazy what these offenses did with this kid. And if Ben got his hands on him and can now do some of this different stuff, like I said, that different gonna look the same, but all of a sudden it's gonna be so different. Right? Like what
they're gonna have to do, man, is they're gonna have to get on. I mean, take the air right out of those aggressive teams right away. You gotta take the dagger right to them right away. You got to put them on their ass and on their heels and back them up. And if you can do that consistently, that's when you can dominate games. When they coming at you with their best and they trying to attack you because they want to dethrone you, you got to take their best shot and then match them one, raise them one. You got to be able to do that. So that's the biggest, to me, that's what I'm going to be looking for, is to see if they can meet that energy and rise above it. So with that being said, man, I do need to get out of here. You guys remember, before we get out of here, probably won't be able to do extra sauce this week because I'll be going out of town for work. But expect us here this time, same time Sunday. Should be back in town. We get it going. We'll make up for it on that day, man. But I do need to get out of here and get a bag packed so I can go. So we're going to give some pleasantries before we get ready to get out of here.
All right. Big shout outs to Levante, ATF, AC Adam, the Scrolls. Who am I missing in the mix here? Oh, Shad, man. Shad was all over the chat, just crushing it tonight. Big ups to Foster Covers as always. And True Pilgrim, man. Mad love to all you guys for coming through and paying attention. Real quick, I know ATF was asking, could Zay be better than Hester? And I think right now that is not only an unknown, but it's slightly sacrilege. So big ups to the one Devin Hester, yes. Man. As always, big ups. Just a magician on the field.
Just real
hopefully,
quick, bro.
Yeah.
Just real quick. I know that Devin has his gold jacket, and it's nothing to take away from him, but he got that jacket as a returner.
That's crazy.
Every time they try to put him on the field as a wide receiver, is like, is that the same dude?
Yeah.
But where Xavier, he's a wide receiver. He's a football player. And so I think he can be more rounded than Hester. And I'm not saying better. I'm just saying more rounded.
Well said, Trip. Because again, if the ball was being thrown to Devin, like he might not come down with it.
Hold your breath.
You know what I'm saying? He might not come down with that ball. I'm just being real. If it's a kick return of any kind, He'll take it to the house. Just a different human being.
You are ridiculous.
I don't even like putting that pressure on Zay.
You know what I'm saying? And this is another piece to this puzzle, right? So let's let the kid acclimate and get his thing going. Here's what the hope is, though. I really hope very early in return capacity, he makes his impression felt. And if that's the case, I can see teams starting to dedicate numbers to him in offensive capacity because they're worried about what he can do. So fingers crossed, man. I got a lot of expectations for this kid and how he's going to be utilized in this offense. And as our good friend, the chef, generally says, it could be beautiful.
That's my bro.
All right, go ahead, Trish. What you got?
Yeah. Big up to all the Nomaniacs on the Nomad Network and all the Canuckers at Kids of Canuck, and everybody at all the stylers at Sports Chicago Style. Big up to all of y'all, and make sure that you're subscribed. And even though some of the decisions made that are above my pay grade have been stalling my starring outlet on the YouTube channel of @TripKundo, TRIPPKUNEDO, it's still happening, and it's just a lot of stuff going on. So subscribe there, and then the aforementioned Chef Trips at Chef Trips TRIPS, and show some love there, all because of Sports Chicago Style. So big up to Coach Trippin and Chef Trips and Triple R, and thanks for having me on, and I'll see you all on the interweb soon. And before I go, FGB. Let's go, bitches.
Amen to that. Hey, man, nice show tonight, man. It was we almost didn't do it. The Kids and Trips were ready to rock and roll without me, but my little exit plan is a little bit later than it was supposed to be, and so I was able to get up in here. But yeah, man, it was a good show. I knew the hot button topics was going to be interesting because it made everybody think about it a little bit. Conversation was real dynamic, like it always is on the channel. And thank you all for being here, like you always rocking and rolling with us, man. Great questions up in the chat. Shad, ATF, who else was was tearing it up in there, man. Help me out. This is great questions all through the chat, man. There's a lot of people.
Well, Levante, True Pilgrim as well had some good comments too, man. Oh, wait a minute. Who there's one that
was in there tearing it up.
He'll BM as well, man. Thanks again for becoming a member, man. That's super appreciated.
Heal and Foster chipped in nicely there.
See.
So yeah, man, great show, man. We appreciate you guys for being here, but I do need to make an abrupt exit and can't be as talkative as we normally are. We're sorry for being short, but we'll make it up to you later on. Don't worry about it. Keep rocking with us, man. And I want to leave you guys with these famous words: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.